there is a goodness there. And that is what you're trying to bring out of them. And it's just like raising children. You know, everybody knows if you call the child a troublemaker and this and this and that, they act out the part. Whereas if you tell them they're good children and they're fine children, that's how they respond. So always remember the humanity. And as many years, you should have a long, successful career. And as many years as you do it, don't become burnt out and don't start. Always remember each person, keep fresh. On the other hand, the second message is, until you reach the diamond on the inside, until you reach the gold on the inside, there's a lot of layers. And in those layers, you have to be very cautious and very careful. And for instance, myself and my son, when we meet somebody the first time, we are told many tales about whatever it is. And we have a general rule. Do you have your mom's number or your father's number or your wife's number? We'd like to be in touch with them. What we really want to find out is if somebody from the street can verify anything, if it's true or not. Because a lot of times I find that people inside, not everything they're saying is truthful. So again, on one hand, it's to know there's something deep in there and try to go and get that out. But on the other side, nobody wants to be manipulated or used, so there has to be a caution of trying to balance that and trying to get some verification if this person even if what they're telling you is even true. And you have to check and double check the stories and ask different ways and see if you could find. And the third message is, I just had a man tell this to me on Sunday. He said, Rabbi, you know what I like about you that is different than the other people we see is honesty and truthfulness. Sometimes I could be brutally truthful to the men and women I see and tell them things they may not want to hear, but it's said with love, and it's said with a joke and a smile, but it's true. And sometimes, and he says, we know when we're speaking with you, we get the truth. And I don't promise them something I can't deliver, and then I also ask them to be respectful to me. And then, if I see you're not upholding their end, I tell them straight, wait a second, you're not telling the truth, or you didn't tell me the truth. And I confront them and try to keep them as truthful as possible. So that's also something that I would advise, to always keep the truth straight up from yourself, and then insist that they be truthful with you. And if they do find something, a light reprimand in a joking way. I caught you lying, so, how could I deal with you? We have to straighten this out. So I hope that helps.
Thank you.
Okay, so in prison, I imagine they don't have a lot of, the same freedoms we have out here. So how is a Jewish person in prison to keep their mitzvot, or what are some of the things you tell them that they can do to strengthen their connection with God?
Inside a prison, I want to give you a little background that there's generally 3 different systems. There's county jails, which are innocent people, because they haven't gone to trial yet. So people sitting in jail, if you have somebody who's in jail, they're innocent. Innocent until proven guilty. So innocent people, it's a holding tank. That's all it is. Then there are the state prisons. Then there's the federal system. These 3 systems, in the federal system, the laws allow anybody of any religion, Jewish included, to have every single right, and they can do every mitzvah in the prison. And it's upheld and it's enforced by the federal government. So if you're, I don't want to say fortunate, if you're in prison and you end up in a federal prison, your chances of being able to do every single mitzvah you want to do are open, and it's your right, and they'll accommodate you. County jail is very, very difficult because most counties have never seen a Jew in their life, and they don't have a clue what kosher is, and it's very difficult. Cook County is very large. It's in Chicago. They've seen Jews. So in Cook County Jail, the kosher is really kosher, so on and so forth. The state system, it depends from place to place, person to person. This man that I told you was there for 17 years, he went out every day. He could put on tefillin. He got kosher food. He was able to do, most things he wanted. I had a man who was in prison who they let him have a sukkah on the state grounds. The warden drove him out in between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur to the Fox River so he could say the prayer by a body of water. He was able to have grape juice. He made Kiddush before Shabbos. He made Havdalah after Shabbos. He had kosher food. He had a shofar he was able to blow. We went to read the Megillah for him. He was able to bring a minyan in so as yahrzeit for his father. He could say Kaddish. I mean, that's in the state of Illinois. But again, it's prison to prison, person to person. Some places, if you go to Menard, I can't tell you how free and open it is. Very, very tight and very restrictive. Although the same laws apply in the state system, it's not enforced to the same degree. In the federal system, it's actually enforced, and the chaplain could get in trouble if they don't accommodate. In the state system, there's really no teeth in it. Nobody's going to lose their job over it. So, if somebody's there, we try to get each man a prayer book and a Torah so they could study. And then, whenever we go, there is a man in Menard, I think, gets a chance to put on tefillin every day, right? And there's different prisons where there's a pair of tefillin and men can put them on. And then I think my son, I'm arranging a few places we're bringing a Megillah in to read. Passover, we're going to bring food for all 8 days into all the places. So, there are many things that we've worked over the years, and we hope to increase that over the years. But, the main thing is what I started from the beginning. They're there to straighten themselves out and get in touch with themselves and be a better person. And that's a lot of soul searching and just teaching them how to work on their character. You know what a mensch is? To be a mensch. To be, they should talk nicer. They should be more considerate. They shouldn't lie. They should tell the truth. Those are mitzvahs too. And those they could do if they want. Any other questions? Okay, I'll just close with the Purim. On Purim, I see there's flyers around Purim on the table here. Jews don't drink. There's one holiday, Purim, you're supposed to take a little more than you could. So this is the Purim joke I was telling the guys. So you'll see why I'm sure you're going to laugh. They were laughing. They didn't get up off the floor yet. There was a guy driving home from his Purim party. He obviously shouldn't have been driving home from the Purim party. He should have had somebody else driving him home, but he didn't. So he sees the state troopers in back of him on I-57, pulls him over. The trooper says, "Sir, do you know why I'm stopping you?" He said, "No." He said, "Well, I saw the way you're driving. You definitely look like you had one too many. I want you to blow into this tube here." So the man says, "Officer, officer, I'm asthmatic. I can't do it." He said, "Okay, you're in luck today. I have in my car, I have a little device. It'll draw a little blood from you. I'll be able to analyze." "No, officer, I'm hemophiliac. One drop of blood, I could die. I could bleed to death. Don't stick me with that." "Okay, I'll get a cup. You'll give me a sample. I'll do an analysis." "Officer, please know I have the worst bladder infection of my life. It's so painful. I'm holding myself in a whole day. Don't make me do this." He says, "Okay, listen. If you can't give me a breathalyzer test, and you can't give me a blood sample, and you can't give me a urine specimen, I'm going to have to ask you to get out of your car. I'm going to give you a field sobriety test." So the man says, "Officer, are you kidding me? I'm so drunk, I can't do that." Anyway, so that was the joke, and with that, we should all have a happy Purim, a happy Passover, and we should all merit to the redemption, so there's no more Jews to visit in jail. Amen.
Just two announcements. One is there's flyers on the table. So this Saturday night we have a volunteer event to help the prisoners in prison. There's a book drive. You could drop off books. We'll mail them out. You could make holiday cards for Purim, for Passover. Make hamantashen, make shalachmana stuff. So that's this Saturday night. And the Purim party, there's going to be Wednesday, March 4th. It's next Wednesday. In the same room, we'll have the Megillah reading with hamantashen. And the following morning, it's not on the paper, but we'll be in Menard. We'll read the Megillah in Menard. And then 5:30, 5 o'clock on March 5th, in our home is going to be the Purim party with kosher sushi. And that's it.
Okay, will this be up online to people in the review?
Gotta ask Andrew.
Eventually.
Eventually.
Eventually, okay.
All right, thank you everybody.